Hey everyone, it is Travis here with iConenctivity, and today I'm just going to do a little quick tutorial on how to hook two of our devices together. So today I have the MIDI 4 here on top and the MIDI 4 Plus on bottom. I had a specific question about these two units and hooking them together, so I figured why not make a video, show some other people, just in case you guys need any help with setting this up. So yes, you actually can hook two of our devices directly together via USB. And I'm going to show you how to do that and how to set it up with iConfig and how that kind of all works out. So right now, MIDI 4 on top, we have a keyboard right here, key station, M audio. It is hooked into the host jack on the back of the MIDI 4 Plus. I'll flip it upside down, hopefully that helps somewhat. I do have the back port USB 2 plugged in just for power. It's plugged into a power source over here, a hub. That's just the power on the device strictly. It's not being used to the computer that I'm going to show you here, so don't worry about that. Then we have USB device jack 1, which is the front one here, and that is coming out, is currently going into my computer, but we're actually going to hook it into the host port of the MIDI 4 Plus. But the reason it's hooked to my computer right now is so that you can see how we're going to stop routing on this guy. So let's go into that right away. So it's plugged in. I've actually set this to defaults. Both these devices are on factory defaults. If you don't know how to do that, device, restore to factory defaults, and it'll do the reset for you. I'm not going to do that because it's already done. So we're going to go to the MIDI info tab right here in iConfig. Scroll down, and if we look at our USB host jack, which is where our keyboard is going into on the MIDI 4, we have a key station, so we want to reserve that in. If you don't know much about reserving, check out some of the other videos that I have on the support, and you will see the reservation, how to set that all up, and MIDI port routing and how that works. For right now, we're just going to reserve this into the first port right here, which is normally called HST1, but I'm actually going to call it key station. If you just click into the box, you can rename it. If you want to save that to the box, which I'm going to, hit device, save current settings, hit yes. I save, and oversave. It's just who I am, it's what I do. So now we're going to take a look at, we're on the MIDI port routing tab right here. I've just clicked on the MIDI port routing, and I'm going to collapse these by hitting the little triangle, the USB device, just for now. And if you look under USB host jack 1, you can see key station name is now shown up. So I'm going to click right under port routing here. If I click kind of in this corner, it'll select everything, and I'm going to deselect everything. Now the reason I did that is because I don't want all the DIMM ports routed to and that kind of stuff. I just want to route out of this USB device jack so I can get into the MIDI 4 Plus. So USB device jack 1 right here, and by default it's set up as a 6 port, and so I'm going to click that one just because it's easiest. And if I look at USB device jack, if I look at HST1, which is where we're trying to send the key station, if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's host 1. Just makes sense to try and keep it lined up, so that's where I'm keeping it. So I'm going to go device again, save current settings, yes, I want to commit to memory. So that's all we had to do with the MIDI 4 Plus, or sorry, the MIDI 4. Now we're going to take the MIDI 4 end, and we're going to plug it into the host port on the MIDI 4 Plus, which is on the back. Now I've gone from the MIDI 4 Plus right here. I'm going to go into my computer, if I can find the cable end. I'm going from USB port 3, which is on the back of this device, and that's going into the computer, and I'm going to go device, switch devices, and now my MIDI 4 Plus should show up. I've already reset this one again, so I'm just going to leave it like that. It's on factory defaults. We're going to go back to MIDI info as we did with the last one and scroll down to the host port, because remember we've hooked this USB device jack to the host port on the MIDI 4 Plus. So we need to look at the host port, because that is where our MIDI data is going to come in. So you can already kind of see that the MIDI 4 is showing up here. If we click on the reserve, you can see 16 ports. And you're trying to figure out why the heck you can see 16 ports. But if you remember, we talked about port 6 on here. There's 16 ports that come out of the USB device jack Those can be used for anything technically, but sometimes we rename them. So since this is plugged in, it's seeing all 16 ports from this USB device jack on the Mio 4 Plus because it's plugged in. And remember, like I said, we're plugged in the port 6, which is the host. So I'm going to click on port 6 to reserve it, and I'm actually going to rename this one key station as well, just to keep it, you know, kind of uniform across the board. It just makes it super easy. I'm saving again. Told you I like to save. Now I'm going to go down on the left hand side here, and we're going to select the key station. And again, it's kind of going everywhere, and I don't really want that, so I'm going to limit the routing. And if you actually looked at this one, was port 7 was actually selected, and the reason I'm reselecting those, I'll show you here why it was port 7. So on the left hand side, if you go to any of the USB device jacks, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just like to keep with the same naming. It's just substantially easier. So if I go to key station down here on this side, I'm sending in to port 7. If you want to make it even easier, you can actually go back to the MIDI info tab, and I have another video on this about renaming and how to do that. And I can go to the USB port, USB device jacks, and I could rename it on everyone, or I could just go to 3, which is plugged into my computer right now, and I could go key station. Now, to get your computer to actually recognize this might be a little bit more work. Macs are sometimes super nice, and you can just go into and refresh. Sometimes you can just go and refresh the like audio MIDI setup, and it'll actually find it. But so I've opened up a program called MIDI Monitor. It's free from Snoise, and if I actually select it here, I need to just gonna quit out of it and jump back into it. If you see, I can actually have no information coming from the keyboard over here. Just hitting C3 a whole ton, but it's reading in. And if you don't like to see it in a MIDI monitor, I'll open up Ableton just so it's easier for those people who are used to seeing it in a program and knowing that it's coming in by actually hearing it. I'm going to go into Live's preferences. The audio is set to my standard built-in output. MIDI, if I look down, host 1, that's the port that we had, and the track's already on, so that's going to read in. And I'm just going to grab an instrument, any old, let's go to old organ maybe, and then, yeah, you can see it reading in already. And then I'm just going to hit monitor in. So you can see it's clearly reading in and working for you. As you see, it still says host 1 here. To get that to update, I have a whole video on it, so just check out my renaming video. And that's pretty much it. So if you have any more questions on that, you can always give us a hit up at support. But hopefully that answers some of your questions if you're trying to hook 2 devices together. Like I said, it's pretty rare for most people, but it's great if you want. I use it often to get DIN ports from like a Mio 4 into my Play Audio 12, which doesn't have DIN ports. So it might be a good use of it right there. If you have any more questions, like I said, give us a shout. Thanks.